Welcome to Talisen Talk. Today we have a very interesting guest. For those that don't know me, my name is Joseph Rigazio. I'm one of the owners of Talisen Construction, mid-sized construction company, where we tend to bring interesting topics together, industry leaders to share their thoughts for folks out there that would be interested. Today, we're talking more about philanthropy, some of the things that are very dear and deep meaning to Taliesin Construction. That's support of folks with disabilities, specifically in and on the autism spectrum. Today, we have Ben Dalley, originally from Bike to the Beach. I know him for many years now. I've been very excited to work with your organization, Ben. I have you here today because Bike to the Beach now has lifted off to a whole nother program based on your success. Our listeners really want to hear all about it. So with that, Ben, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Ad Impact Foundation.
Well, thank you, Joe. Great to be here. And as you mentioned, we've been working closely with Taliesin Construction for a number of years now. I think our relationship embodies everything that we like to have with our partners. We are a nonprofit organization that prides itself in supporting the autism and disabilities community. And what we've been trying to do for the last 15 years is tie together a support structure in the community to support local autism organizations, as well as really kind of national network relationships that can support locals, as well as find local companies like yourself that can get involved in what we do. And the work that your company has done to support the New York region has been amazing over the years. So first, I want to say thank you for that.
You're welcome. And again, the space is so important, so we are excited. Again, Ad Impact Foundation. If it's going to be anything like what you personally started with Bike to the Beach, I'm very excited to help continue that momentum. Can you go back a little bit in time just so the listeners can know just the awesome start, what got you there, where are you today? And I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about Ad Impact. But take us a little back in time, just to recalibrate.
The Ad Impact Foundation is the next iteration of a company that I've been working with and helped co-found 15 years ago, called Bike to the Beach, Inc. And Bike to the Beach, Inc., the company, for the last 15 years, has been hosting charity bike rides throughout the country to support local organizations and their fundraising efforts. And we do that through hosting charity bike rides from urban centers to nearby beaches. With 25, 50, and 100-mile ride options. The way it structurally works is that any rider can join us, and we kind of make the event very accessible for anybody that knows how to ride a bike. And the fundraising that each rider is able to contribute to the event goes to support local organizations. So these local organizations are invited to join the event and take part in the event. And essentially make the event their own. So what we offer them is a really interesting tool, and that tool is an event. So if you're a small nonprofit, and the autism organizations in this country, are varying in sizes, but it's probably come no surprise to you, Joe, and to our audience that many of them are quite small, under 10 employees. And a lot of them are focused on particular needs in their communities. In order to take, I'll just use a concrete example. So if you are hosting a camp every summer to support individuals with autism, going out and hosting fundraising can be very difficult. And a lot of organizations do that through events. And if you're a 10-person staff and you have to host an event of a Bike to the Beach nature and size and quality, we have a full-time staff doing it. It'll take 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of those people almost 6 months of the year just planning the event, executing it well. And what Bike to the Beach has done for the last 15 years is provide that service to local nonprofits. So if you are that 10-person nonprofit that's hosting that camp that I'm using as an example, you can plug into Bike to the Beach. Bike to the Beach, the organization will do all the planning, all the website work, all the marketing, all the permitting work, all that 6 months plus of work that I mentioned. The nonprofit organization can just jump onto the Bike to the Beach event. They can start a fundraising team. They can use that fundraising team to fundraise for their own organization. And historically, those nonprofits have been able to keep up to 100% of their fundraising. We also need the additional opportunity for them to partner in hosting a rest stop or some kind of volunteer nature, and they also get kind of a stipend or kind of bonus for that as well. So in short, we've offered this across the country. We have about 70 nonprofit partners throughout the country. Each event raises on average about $600,000 for about $2 million a year, about 2,000 riders a year. And we're looking to keep on growing the event and continue to work with these local nonprofit partners.
Those are the things that Andrew and I got very excited with when we first met you guys early on. Not that we're a nonprofit, we're not looking to raise funds for ourselves at all, but knowing that you had that type of approach was intriguing to us. We do get out there and we do meet with folks that add value to support the world of autism from the standpoint of quality of life. Because it was personal to me with my son, who's now thriving, high functioning, but the environment and the help the families need is incredible. And to see the robustness of what I've seen in the journeys on some of those nonprofits that were able to benefit from the dollars that Talisen raised. And for us to say, hey, Ben, look over there. These guys are pretty cool. They may need our help. And if it fits your program. And then when we saw those checks go through, there's nothing more delighting than that, especially for the folks that are writing. And it keeps us healthy. So, with the Ad Impact Foundation, does the Bike to the Beach brand name start to disappear? Is it a building on? Is it a subset? Help me understand how the pieces will fit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an exciting transition. So let me add that for 15 years, we've been hosting these events throughout the country, inviting nonprofits to come join our event, providing them the opportunity and this tool to raise funds for our event. But beyond the fundraising, it's also a great volunteer engagement, right? It's also a great way to connect with other nonprofits. It's also a great event, as you said, to inspire local community to understand that what services each of these nonprofits offer. It's a tool that their board can use to engage, their fundraisers or their companies or their community. So we've been doing this for 15 years, and we've seen a lot of success with it. The transition to Ad Impact is to take what we've learned from doing Bike to the Beach, providing this scalable tool, and you begin to use that in other aspects of solving needs for nonprofits. So the Bike to the Beach event will continue, but the name of the nonprofit will change to Ad Impact Foundation, with the goal of being more than just an event. So for 15 years, it was okay being called Bike to the Beach Inc., right? And have an event called Bike to the Beach because they were one of the same. We're looking, Ad Impact is going to take all the learnings we've had for the last 15 years and start applying that to other things.
Understood. That's clear. Now I get it. But now let's talk about challenges.
Yeah.
I understand. It does make a lot of sense, right? Now, Ad Impact has a great, successful initiative, Bike to the Beach. You're going to keep that Bike to the Beach initiative there, and there'll be other things that Ad Impact may grow into. It seems like Ad Impact is specifically trying to point to those nonprofits and then work with them.
Yes.
So, challenges. You have a lot of experience in the area of programming and funding. What are those challenges like? What were they like? Is it going to get easier, or do the mountains get bigger?
Yeah, I think our approach has been truly focused on supporting nonprofits. And again, the transition from Bike to the Beach to add impact is to continue to do more in that space. And we truly believe one of the many things that we've learned through our years of working with nonprofits all over the country is that collaboration can be key to success. And what we've done through our events is get organizations together that have never talked together and never talked to each other, never worked closely together, and got them working around an event that became very successful fundraising for each of them. Our average partner raises over $20,000. But through that, purposely and sometimes unpurposely, those introductions we made through the event have gotten nonprofits working together on different initiatives. So many nonprofits kind of share the same problem, just as organizational problems. And when you dive deeper to trying to solve problems in the autism community, many of them are trying to figure out different ways to solve, the same problem. And they all have various different ways to do it, different experiences they can bring to the table. And we've been working together has already proven in some of our examples, some of our success stories, to kind of achieve better outcomes. So Add Impact is kind of designed to be more laser focused on creating a system of collaboration within a city, and then taking that to the other 5 or 6 cities that we're involved in. And I should mention that we do rides in South Florida, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, New York, Boston, Houston, Texas, and have gone as far as California for our events.
Is it fair then to say, again, it's challenges, you're growing, just like Talisen construction from a business standpoint, as you grow, you have to put foundational blocks in place. We all too often hear great ideas from our clients and we're there salivating, I'd love to be able to do that, I'd love to, but we can't do everything at the same time. You mentioned collaboration in the community. Will Add Impact have additional resources on top of what the Bike to the Beach initiative already can command and manage to be able to take those cool ideas collaboratively? Is that an intent there? Because there's lots of ideas. I don't think we're short of the ideas.
Yes, 100%. And there are many different avenues that we're looking to explore doing this. Let me start off by saying that the first avenue is grants. So we're lucky enough as an organization, after all of our nonprofits, raise, their $25,000, $20,000 each. Our organization has a little bit of money left over to kind of apply towards other initiatives. So the first thing we're rolling out at Impact is a grant program. We'll be providing grants to our local nonprofit spaces to help fill in different needs. And the goal of these grants is to get the nonprofits already within our network to work together and to use the funds from our grants to solve problems. Whether that is to directly solve a problem or it is to support them in taking a step towards additional grant money. A big issue you have if you're a small 10-person nonprofit, I'll stay with that example, is that you can't just go to a Ford Foundation, right, and ask them for $5 million, right? Exactly. And we're hoping that Add Impact can be a stepping stone to either a proof of concept or and provide other tools to allow either 1 or 2 of those 10-person organizations or a whole collective in that whole area to apply to some of those larger grant dollars that exist out there.
Ben, that's the most exciting aspect that I see, right? You're almost seeding more. The great ideas come from those small groups of passionate people. Once organizational structure comes in place and they build momentum, they may not need an impact as much, but you can inspire them for who knows, then they become so large, they become a grantor. Who knows?
100%,
right? But that's what kind of excites us. At Talisen Construction, we're on our 5th, I think, or maybe 6th year of doing the bike ride.
Yes, sir.
Raising funds. We've grown there. It's been very impactful. It's anywhere. I'd like to, again, to folks listening out there, the Talisen ecosystem of our clients, our architects, our subcontractors, all the professionals, all the trade workers within the ecosystem of New York City construction. I want to thank them. They were our supporters. We would get 15 to 30 riders, and we would raise from 50,000 up to almost 100,000 on one event in each year. I've always been humbled. Even through the pandemic, we managed to do a decent job, right? A little tougher there. It touches people.
Yeah.
It touches people, not just in the community you were just talking about, but all the folks that are working hard in our world that may not have the time, but may have the dollar and the care.
Yeah.
May not have the dollar, but can jump on a bike with us and enjoy the day. Somewhat enjoy the day. What you're enjoying.
It's always enjoyable in memory, right?
So, yes. So in our world as Talisen, as we journey here, we support a great organization like Bike to the Beach, and then to follow on and cheer on, add impact as well. You touch on the people. It's one of the pillars of Taliesin construction. Our people pursuing perfection. We say project agility. That means a lot for the constructor in the world, but innovation is important to us. Those pillars is what we embody. People and innovation. And then when we look at the inspiring things you guys do, I wanted to say thank you, because we communicate that back internally.
Yeah.
And having purpose in organizations is important. And you guys have definitely added that for us. Now, in the world of innovation, talk to me about some cool things that you're already, well, let me back it up. I am sure yourself and your organization had cool things you heard of in the past. You knew you couldn't bite that yet. It would be too much to chew. Any examples you could share with us that you're getting excited about, ready to go and grab and be innovative?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I am most excited about, I think I could probably speak collectively for the folks driving Add Impact now, is that the seeds of collaboration have been planted. And I would love to say that, Add Impact and Bike to the Beach are, have been one of the main planters. But as we've kind of begun to transition to Add Impact and change our business model from being event focused to charity and nonprofit focused, I'm really excited about how much desire there is for the for nonprofits in the autism and disability space to work more closely together. We've had meetings with our small 10-person, 5-person nonprofits, as well with national organizations, and they've all communicated without us prompting them that there's a real opportunity for some of the major issues that have been, I'm gonna use the word plaguing the community, to be addressed not only by one organization but across the board. And I think the opportunity for Add Impact to be a part of that discussion and provide whatever services we can. And we're unique because we are the kind of organization that can work with and talk to a national nonprofit leader on a Monday and then a 2-person nonprofit on a Tuesday, right? And be able to kind of connect those two together. So that's more of a vision than it is an actual innovation. But I think the opportunity to innovate within that space is exciting, because I think I'm sorry to interrupt, but the nonprofits in general are kind of known for kind of having kind of blinders on and running forward. And we're really excited about kind of creating more tools and more opportunities for nonprofits to take those blinders off, look around the room, sit down at a table that they wouldn't have sat down with before, and hopefully that table has an Add Impact cloth and a tablecloth on it, and our team and our folks can be kind of there prompting discussion and prompting solutions. Particularly, go ahead.
No, that gives a good visual for just how you articulated that again. I truly believe innovation comes out from small groups that have a need. They may not have the infrastructure yet, but that's what innovative things do happen. You being able to connect there and at the same time walk in the rooms of more institutional stuff and create that kind of bridge for possibilities. That's exciting to me. With that, and looking to the audience out there, those nonprofits, those small five, and those 2 or 3 people that have a great idea, that are emotionally attached to it, that are putting in their passion. That's the other thing that's so important in the world of people pursuing perfection and being innovative. There's passion there. Having purpose and passion, you got it in spades. So those folks out there, those 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, then help us. Help us from the standpoint of when you're distributing the dollars. Is it that easy? Do they just have to call you up and you're going to write a check? Give us an example of the process, some things you've done in the past to make it real to that innovative small group that may want to all of a sudden say, hey, I want to talk to them and understand what they're doing for those possibilities.
Yeah, I think one thing's great about ad impact model is that, we have open arms. We've always believed that rising tide raises all ships. And I think that approach is kind of, again, I love to believe we planted these seeds I mentioned earlier, but I truly believe that there's a culture of collaboration developed in the nonprofit space. So for any nonprofit out there, in the autism and disability space, we have always been open-armed about them joining the Bike to Beach community. So, and with a similar approach for the ad impact community, we believe in each city we're going to be able to develop a strong network of collaborators. And they can collaborate on many different things. Most concretely, right now we have our Bike to Beach fundraising event, right? So any nonprofit that's in this space can join Bike to Beach event and use it as a fundraising tool. They can become one of our partners, and every dollar they raise, they get to keep. They can also tie in as a volunteer organization, and they get to host a rest stop, and we'll support them all their needs. Again, the event offers so many opportunities for volunteer recruitment, to volunteer engagement, to fundraising, that our nonprofits across the country have benefited from. But in addition to that, any member of our network will get access to our grant program. And it's not going to be as easy as making a phone call, but we are in the process of developing a formalized grant program where we'll be offering the opportunity for nonprofits in our network and most likely nonprofits outside of our network to work together to solve some of these big issues. And back to the innovation question, we're excited about opportunities that tie in the public sector and the private sector together. We're excited about opportunities that go from national to local. There are initiatives around workforce and wandering and drowning and so forth. There's so many nonprofits are working towards, and we believe there are opportunities for ad impact and some of our other partners to be kind of the hub of a wheel to kind of bring everyone together and kind of focus energy in the right place. I want to add that our goal is not to reinvent any wheel. Our goal is to take knowledge that might exist in a great nonprofit in Houston, right, and bring that to a great nonprofit in New York, right? And sometimes that idea, that's a great idea in South Houston, it just needs to be brought across town to North Houston, right? and we've already seen that across the board. So,
and that's real cool, right? Sharing best practices because of where you fit in the ecosystem.
100%.
Because you see that, the Team Talisen, which is the name of our team that rides in Ad Impact's New York Bike to the Beach event. At times, and folks out there, even small nonprofits, maybe you don't want to go head first yourself with your brand, but jump on our team, ride with us. We'll help to influence those dollars and directions to the best that we can. We and the teams around Talisen, we do care about it. So when we see those innovative small groups that are adding value to this world, right? When we talk about innovation, it's not what's innovative in fundraising. It's what's innovative in the services you're providing families and individuals with those disabilities. Are you doing something impactful that's scalable, that's going to make a difference? The needs are changing because the volume of those on the spectrum is increasing. They're also aging. We're talking about I'm a 24-year-old young adult. So it's not about who's going to help me through school. The institutional support is ending for my son. There's not many programs out there after that. The programs are needed. They don't, at 23, come off the spectrum. They're there. They got a long, God-blessed journey to take. So the needs are going to constantly change. And I myself, because I'm on that forefront, I'm always looking for, hey, who's doing something different? Who's making it different? If you can get a couple of $1,000 or $5K or something small to excite and start proof of concept, I'm always all ears. And I say, jump on my team. We got something interesting going. Come collaborate. I hope I'm not speaking out of turn with that, Ben. Because I try to, we are on board to ride and raise, not to direct where monies go. We would like to open your eyes and shine lights when we see it, but we know our role. We're proud to be a part of that, by the way. So thank you for this event and how it's been on its journey.
Let me thank you, and thank you for your leadership as well. I mean, I mentioned earlier that I think Talisen kind of fits into our vision of what we think can be achieved, right? I mean, you are a private company that has value, but also has values and a purpose, and you apply that externally, and you really are a beacon for a lot of for what private sector power could look like. Right, energizing people around a cause, and trying to help be part of the solution. So we thank you for every pedal you've taken, every mile you've ridden, and everything you've done to kind of help support the entire autism community, and particularly support Bike to the Beach and Add Impact. So thank you very much.
I appreciate that, Ben. I look forward to bringing you back on Talisen Talk as well. We have, I believe, our Bike to the Beach event in New York is in the fall. Through the pandemic, we went from spring to fall, trying to get into that cadence, if you will. But again, all out there, this is Talisen Talk.
We have more time to train.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. It's funny. I told this to Andrew. I go back and forth. We had the spring. This was the event that used to get me out of the hibernation of the winter to start exercising so I'm healthy through the summer.
Yeah.
Now I have the summer. I have to stay healthy all the way through to the fall. I didn't do as well last year. I did 100 miles every year. Last year I did the 50. I got to get back to the 100. I'm going to blame it on COVID because we blame everything on that. That'll be my last blame. But seriously, with that, Ben, thank you for all your passion, all your efforts. Your journey continues to sound inspiring. This is Joseph Rigazio with Talisen Construction. This is Talisen Talk. We'll see you next time. Ciao.
Thank you.